Everything that happened flowed from that one moment, that one decision. Someone help me!
Michael, I am offering you a chance to atone for what you have done, to help eradicate an entire criminal organization for good.
What exactly are you asking me to do?
Did you ever tell anyone anything that I should be worried about?
Your problems become my problem.
The last time I saw someone get in his way, Baxter shot him in the head.
Tread very carefully right now.
Anger is where I want to live. Anger is where I flourish.
I can't help you.
Have I given you the impression that any of this is optional? If we do this correctly, every single person will get what they deserve.
Holy shitballs. Anger is where I want to live. Anger is where I flourish. This is Hope Davis just absolutely freaking you out through the computer screen. It's phenomenal series. This is the second and final season of Your Honor, starring Bryan Cranston Davis, as I mentioned, Michael Stuhlbarg, and a few others. I wasn't sure after season one that we needed a second season. After watching the first 5 episodes of this 10-episode season, I can tell you, we needed it. And it does plod a little bit in some of the early episodes, but stick with it, friends. If you loved season one, you will absolutely want the completion of season 2, and it's incredible. I will watch Bryan Cranston, read the Yellow Pages. He's a phenomenal actor. I loved him in Breaking Bad. I loved seeing him pop up in Better Call Saul. I've watched him in everything that he's turned his hand to. And particularly Your Honor is a wonderful follow-up series for him in that regard. And I'm keen to see how this whole season rolls out. For those that don't know, Bryan Cranston plays Judge Michael Desiato, who is deep in despair in season 2 over the accidental death of his son, Adam. And we find him in jail after admitting to everything that led to the frightening climax of season 1. I'm no spoilers there because I want you to dive into season 1 if you haven't seen it, but he's in a bad way. Hope Davis, as I said, we saw in the intro, and her husband, Michael Stuhlbarg, play Gina and Jimmy Baxter, who are the mob bosses, the mob family of New Orleans, and they rule that place with a gunpowder-filled, rod. They are ready to take everyone out. And what we do learn this season is that Jimmy married into this mob family, and that Gina has grown up with the violence of it, and the kids, it sits differently for their children. It sits differently with each of them as to how they feel about it. But Gina just absolutely wants the world to fucking burn. She wants it to be torn down because she is angry that seemingly she thinks her husband is being weak in the midst of all of this. And it's very incredible to watch the menace between her and her husband, even her going to, sort of a 12-step meeting to try and process her anger. And at the fact that what spawned all of this was the death of her son in the first episode of season 1. Davis is mesmerizing. You cannot turn away from watching her. She's incredible. Rosie Perez pops up in this final season as a federal associate district attorney, hell-bent on putting away not just the Baxters, but the entire Baxter clan and the extended thing into her family and beyond. She's a great little sort of angry mouse. She just pops up and upsets everybody and does all sorts of stuff in the midst of it. Rosie Perez is great. It also stars Margot Martindale, Isaiah Whitlock Jr., and Andreen Ward Hammond as Big Mo, who runs a gang in the lower 9th district of New Orleans. And there's a real tension between the Baxter crew and her crew. And we see that continue across this season. There's lots of not just shenanigans that play out between, Desiato and the feds wanting to bring down the Baxters, but how do Big Mo and her gang deal with the Baxters, and what does that all look like? And then the broad tensions of a life of crime. New Orleans is as sultry as ever, though lots more happens indoors in this season than it did last, which means that ultimately we have to lean on the performances. And look, Cranston is eminently watchable in everything, especially this. However, Davis brings it to him, and she absolutely lines him up. That as characters, they have each other's number. They have met each other's match. And it's brilliant to watch that play out. This season, for mine, of Your Honor, comes with big expectations, and it looks absolutely set to deliver. Now, Your Honor, season 2 starts on Stan today, on Saturday, the 14th Australian time, and they run weekly. So you'll get that across the next 10 weeks. I just got to recommend that you check it out, particularly if you haven't seen season 1. Don't start here. Go and watch season 1 of Your Honor before you start into season 2. It's definitely worth it. And I got to tell you, Your Honor is just something that will wash over you in the best kind of way. Check it out on Stan. That's Your Honor.